I do.
If I leave at 10, if I leave at 10 to 8, don't be upset. I'm gonna go babysit.
Okay. Oops.
I get to do both
Can
things.
somebody hit got it on the screen?
Yep.
Yeah, like I
Scroll
want
up
to be able to
again.
do both things.
Yeah.
I know, so I don't
It's
want
hard
to
to
get,
be in two places.
I can't be in two places at one time.
Got it. Nope, something.
Hi.
How's that?
All right,
I'm doing
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So good to see the hordes and masses here and on. No, we are delighted. Thanks for being here. And we begin this first Shabbat after all the holidays, the first Shabbat of the Torah year. It's a new year in its own self, with when we sing. When we sing, when we sing, we pray twice. When we sing, when we sing, when we sing, we are one. When we sing, when we sing, when we sing, we pray twice. When we sing, when we sing, when we sing, we are one. Shila-la-la-la, 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 shila-la-la-la. When we sing, when we sing, we pray twice. When we sing, when we sing, when we sing, we are one. We turn to page 120 for the lighting of the Shabbat candles, and we invite Stephanie and Tony Kane to light the candles for us. I'm going to meet you over there 1 second. Use the point of the light. Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu b'ha'ikner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Lehadlikner shel Shabbat. Let us nightly light and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. We turn to page 124. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Together, now we in our turn come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives.
May we enter this place in peace.
May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. Page 138 in the Chadodi. Lechadodi, Lekrakala, Shabbat, Lekabela, Lechadodi, Lekrakala, Shabbat, Lekabela. Shamor kezachor, kedivor echad, Yishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, Fushto echad, Shemoti feret, Belitiyah, Lechadodi, Lechadala, B'nei Shabbat, Lekabela. Shabbat, Lekabela, Itoreri, Kiva Orei, Umi Uri, Shiraberi, Kubor Adonai, Alai Nigla. Lechadodi, Lechadala, B'nei Shabbat, Lekabela. Lechadodi, Lechadala, B'nei Shabbat, Lekabela. Mo'il Shalom, Ateret Balam, Rabbi Simcha U'Sola, Tov Emunei Am Segula, Bo'wi Kala, Lechadodi, Lekrakala, B'nei Shabbat, Lekabela, Lechadodi, Lekrakala, B'nei Shabbat, Lekabela. We turn to page 146 for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam va'ed. Ma'ariv Arabim, page 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Melech haolam, Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, ma'ariv ha'arami. Ahavat olam.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, B'shoveinu u'b'kumeinu, Nasiach b'chukecha, V'nizmach divrei Toratecha, U'v'mitzvotecha, Le'olam va'ed, Ki hein chayeinu, Ve'orech yameinu, U'behem nehegeh, Yomam v'layla. Ve'havataka al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated and let us continue together with the V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavcha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol meodecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ela, asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha, v'shinanta levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, v'lechtecha b'derech, Ushaftecha u'umecha, Ushartam le'ot al yadecha, V'hayu letotafo bein yenecha, U'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'bisharecha, Lema'an tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotav, V'haytem kedoshim le'elohecha. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, v'hiyot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohim. We turn to page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands and marching together. Page 158.
Mi kamocha, mi kamocha, mi kamocha, mi kamocha, mi kamocha, mi kamocha, Adonai. Mi kamocha, mi kamocha, mi kamocha, mi kamocha, mi kamocha, mi kamocha, Nedad HaKodesh, Noda Teilo.
Hashkivenu, as we feel God's presence descend upon us, as Shabbat enters our souls, as evening falls around us, and we ask for guidance and protection and love. You have to ask for more things?
And grace. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom Hamidenu Shoreinu L'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom Hamidenu Shoreinu L'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom Hamidenu Shoreinu L'chaim. Shmor tzidkenu l'chaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufroz alenu sukat shlemecha baruch atah Adonai ha'porei sukat shalom alenu ve'al amo Yisrael Yerushalayim.
Instead of Vishamru, we'll do another reading for Shabbat. I'm choosing one on page 353 in the brackets. Page 235 in the black pages. 353 if you have the thick book. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and hands, we give praise. For the peace in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. For the gift of Shabbat, which renews us for life, we offer blessing. Baruch atah Adonai tikadesh haShabbat. We turn back to page 166 in the brackets. And then we rise for the Amidah. 166.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor HaNorah El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'konei HaKol Zocher kasnei avot b'imahot, u'mebיא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ואהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומלך. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הפועל הרב והושיע. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. צומק נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו Mishene Yapar, Mikamo Kamaviro, Umito Melo, Melech Mimi, Umakaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Beremana Halayotam, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol.
Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see, wherever we gaze, that the bush burns unconsumed. And we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated as we continue responsively on page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Ritzei, page 175. Page 177. It's been taught that if you only had one prayer to say, that prayer should be thank you. So this prayer, the Modim, is our thank you prayer. And I invite you to take a moment and think about what you are grateful for on this Shabbat. If you'd like to put it in the chat and share with others, it's a beautiful way to help us create community. I am grateful for the community in this sanctuary, the community on Zoom, and for our congregation. Our numbers have grown in the sanctuary and on Zoom since the service started, which is lovely. And I was thankful for another beautiful day today. It really was. Hopefully we'll have a beautiful weekend and get to enjoy the beginnings of fall. So we prayed together, 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatoshim kar l'chan ha'eh lehodo. And let us pray for peace. On page 178.
Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Alecha, Nasim Le'olam. Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Alecha, Nasim Le'olam. Ki Atahu Melech Adon, Le'kol HaShalom. Ki Atahu Melech Adon, Le'kol HaShalom. Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Alecha, Nasim Le'olam. Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Alecha, Nasim Le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, b'kol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Alecha, Nasim Le'olam. Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Alecha, Nasim Le'olam. Nasim Le'olam. Nasim Le'olam.
We take these next few moments for silent prayer.
May I be saved, may I be free, may I find space to just be. Can you hear our tone? Can you hear our tone? May I find my way back home. Can you hear our tone? Can you hear our tone? May I find my way back home. We call to mind someone who's been good to us, someone whose face makes us smile, makes us feel cared for. We open up our hearts and we offer them this blessing. May you be saved. May you be free. May you find space to just be. Can you hear our tone? Can you hear our tone? May you find your way back home. Can you hear our tone? Can you hear our tone? May you find your way back home. We call to mind someone who is difficult for us, someone we just don't understand. We open up our hearts and we try to offer them this blessing. May you be saved. May you be free. May you find space to just be. Can you hear our tone? Can you hear our tone? May you find your way back home. Can you hear our tone? Can you hear our tone? May you find your way back home. We call to mind this community, all the good that we do, all the love and the friendships that were born inside these walls. We open up our hearts and we offer up this blessing. May we be saved. May we be free. May we find space to just be. Can you hear our tone? Can you hear our tone? May we find our way back home. Can you hear our tone? Can you hear our tone? May we find our way back home.
Beautiful. We actually did all the things you told us to do. We thought of somebody and thought of all of us. So beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna move this back to the center. Oh, thank you. Sure, we're good here. In this week's Torah portion, not surprisingly, we have the very first question that is asked in the Torah. Eyeka, where are you? God is the asker, and Adam is the one being asked. Usually, when God calls out, biblical figures respond, Hineni, here I am. But that's not what happened this time. Let's think about questions for a moment. Don't you hate the question, why? There's that annoying way people ask it. Why didn't you call? Why didn't you clean your room? Why did you do that? Why questions are often less of a genuine inquiry to the truth and more of a veiled accusation and criticism. Or we've certainly trained ourselves to take them that way. John Gottman, a relationship expert, says that why questions lead to defensiveness and are actually relationship killers, especially when asked in that way. So when Adam ate the apple in the garden, wasn't actually an apple, it was a goodly fruit. We think it was probably an etrog, but the medieval painters thought it was an apple because that's what they knew, so we think it's an apple. When God ate the fruit in the Garden of Eden, when Adam ate it, God could have asked why. But it turns out God doesn't ask why. God asked, Ayecha, where were you? Rabbi Hannah Perlberger, who I am indebted to these teachings to, points out, obviously, this wasn't a literal question with God playing hide and seek. God knew very well where Adam was. It was much more of an existential inquiry. Where are you is a probe of the internal mechanism whereby Adam made it okay to disobey God. No matter how destructive the behavior, there is always an inner voice that convinces us it's okay, justifiable, or even a moral imperative. No one eats chocolate frosted donuts or is unfaithful to a partner by accident. A whole series of questions have been asked along the way. Choices have to be made and multiple permissions granted for the mind to distort reality and excuse any behavior. God wanted Adam to contemplate the grave consequences of his behavior. Because if Adam was hiding from God, thus Adam was feeling disconnected from his very creator. Where could he possibly be? He had just been created. They're still in Gan Eden. Nothing's really happened yet, and he's already feeling this disconnect. Where are you? Perlberger and other commentators think that God just wanted Adam to own up to his mistake, to learn from it, to show that he would grow and it wouldn't happen again. But Adam doesn't. It seems he felt so much shame that he processed God's inquiry as a why and felt attacked. Adam's responses are defensive. She made me do it, and you put her here to be with me. And then Eve turns around and says, well, the serpent made me do it. There's this sense of being attacked, of blame, of shame, of guilt, of having to cover up, of having to hide, of having to defend and pass the blame. And we see that Adam doesn't show remorse. The sages learned this because in the Hebrew, the word for to ate is in the future tense. Adam will eat. Incredibly, Adam was in effect admitting that even if he had the chance to do it over, which is the definition of repentance, when you have the exact same situation, you don't make the same mistake again. Even if Adam had the chance to do it over, he would actually commit the same sin again. At that point, God has no choice. God kicks him and Eve out of the garden. Ayecha, where are you, is not a geographic query. Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, a famous Hasidic rabbi, the Alter Rebbe, explains that Ayecha means, are you in relationship with God? Where are you in this relationship right now at this moment? We've learned on Yom Kippur that the word chet, or the word for sin, can mean to miss the mark. A chet is an arrow, so think of it as missing the mark on the target. So we understand, as Perlberger points out, that it's the very nature of a sin to take us off course. Many of us use GPS navigators to help us get where we're going. And often we make wrong turns or we just disobey the navigator. But what's the first thing it does? It pinpoints where we are and then sets a new course for us. Unlike the first man, we must be willing to recalibrate our assumptions, to take responsibility for our actions and respond accordingly. We need to know where we are. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's very hard to feel that connection to God, to follow God's commands or instructions. Sometimes we feel we are very far away and it is nearly impossible. During Sukkot, one of the things we are commanded to do is rejoice. Zman simchatenu, a time of rejoicing. To be happy in the sukkah. The sages teach that if you are eating in the sukkah and there's so much rain falling that it spoils your soup, you should go inside. Because how could you be happy if your soup is spoiled? And you can't be in the sukkah if you're not happy, so you need to leave the sukkah. That's how important Zman Simchatenu is. Unfortunately, Rebecca Minkus Lieberman lost her father, Rabbi Minkus of Chicago, just before Sukkot this year. She was obviously distraught, and she didn't know how she was going to handle two things. The delay of Shiva, because since Sukkot is a Zman Simchatenu, you can't sit Shiva during Sukkot because that would be mixing an unhappy thing with a happy thing, and joy overrides sadness. And then how she was going to actually fulfill the mitzvah of Zman Simchatenu. But then she remembered a teaching of Rabbi Alan Liu. He says, and when we speak of joy here in the sukkah, we are not speaking of fun. We're not speaking of happiness and fun. Joy is something different. He says, joy is a deep release of the soul and includes death and pain. Joy is any feeling fully felt, any experience we give our whole being to. Joy, a feeling fully felt, participating fully in the experience. It's not just happiness. This sometimes includes loss and pain, but it's that willingness to enter into relationship, to feel the feeling, to process the feeling, and come out on the other side. That is part of Zman Simchatenu. And that was what Rebecca was able to do, to appreciate the stories, to feel the loss and the sadness, but to also feel the joy of a life well lived, and to sit there with her feelings in the sukkah. So even in her time of sorrow, which could have led to a disconnect with tradition, with God, she was able to answer the question, Ayecha, with Hineni, here I am, fully present in this moment, experiencing, feeling, being human. So I challenge us this year of 5782, as we begin with Parshat Bereshit on this day, that we too can try to continue to answer the question, Ayecha, with Hineni, here I am. We turn now to page 586 as we rise and join together in yelling.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit k'ruat etzereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzon, v'lo samanu k'mishpat ha'adama, shelo sam elkeinu kahem, v'kor aleinu k'chol ha'amona, אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo.
We turn to page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. And on this Shabbat, we remember those for whom we are in the period of Shiva. Edward Slater, brother of Linda Arnberg, Judith Stein, aunt of Leslie Brand, and Daniel Pills, father of Jennifer Birnbaum. And those for whom we're in the month of mourning, Melvin Stein, father of Susan Fight. And those whose yurtzites fall at this season, Helen Ruth Aronson, Jay Auerbach, Karen Becker, Esther Bigman, Lisa Bornstein, Ruth Kane, Gloria Carabell, Betty Cohen, Judith Goldberg, Vivian Gradsky, David Hardell, Libby Height, Saul Lehman, Judith Leifer, Barbara Menace, Irene Nathanson, Ida Ostro, Paul Rosedale, Abraham Saxon, Gary Seltzer, Miriam Sinkoff, Elaine Token, Graham Weinstein, Henry Waxelblatt. Is there anyone else you're saying Kaddish for today? And Bill Menashkin. Let us join together in love and memory. Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba, Yama divrach yirtei v'yamakutei, v'chayefon v'yomefon v'chayei d'kol Beit Yisrael, Bagalav v'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam omei omaya. Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromach v'yinaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalel v'yitalal shmei kudusha brihu. Leila minko birchata v'shirata, shushbachata v'nechemana chata, damiram v'yama v'yimru, Amen. Yehi shlomo Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yako Yisrael v'yimru, Amen. Oseh shalom v'romav, v'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yako Yisrael v'yimru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved. We turn to page 123 for the Shabbat Kiddush, and we will join with the Cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei uri hagafet. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho v'habahu ratzo v'hilanu zikaron b'ma'aseh b'reishit ki hu yom tehilah l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim ki manu barta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim b'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava u'ratzon yinkatanu Baruch atah Adonai v'kadesh ha'shabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. Yum, yum. Please be seated. Let's take a moment now for some prayers of healing. We pray for Seth Rosenbluth's friend in Texas, for Marjorie Rubin, for Charlie Holzberg, for Gary Friedenberg, for Lori Kick, for George Borsa, for Barbara Robinson, for Franya Sherman, for Hal Rosenbluth, for Joni Spielberg, for all those on our Misha Bayrak list. And who else are we praying for today? Judy.
Bill Ebert, Aaron Slowey, and Karen Adler.
Thanks. Thank you. And please add names in the chat, and I will look at them while we are praying. Page 371. Let's send our prayers out to those we've named, those on our Mishavera list, those who are holding in our hearts, and to each of you on this Shabbat. We could all use a little bit of healing.
Mi Shebeiro Avoteinu Mikor Abraham Leimoteinu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi Shebeiro Imoteinu Mikor Abraham Avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Amen v'amen, refuah shlema, complete healing of body and soul. Birthdays, anniversaries, we get to celebrate together. I think we wished Todd Jacobson a happy birthday last week, but it's still close to this week, and I think we wished Jaya one last week. Fern and Lenny Bernstein had an anniversary. Bill's birthdays. Bill Conkel tomorrow. Oh, wonderful. Thank you for catching that. And Arthur Wasserspring is on Sunday. Nana Kazonis is out there. Somebody going to unmute and have anything else to share?
Yeah, Rabbi, it's mine and Aaron's anniversary tomorrow night.
Happy anniversary. Actually, my anniversary sheet is not in date order. I'm going to have to send it back. That's not going to help. Happy anniversary. Yeah, you're on here.
Thank you.
Very cool. What anniversary is it?
27?
27.
27. And we'll celebrate again tomorrow in front of the pianos.
Wonderful. Everybody should come celebrate Marcy and Aaron's anniversary at Doolin Pianos. That's exactly it. Jeffrey Nussbaum is this week. Lots of nice people. So let's have a Shehechian.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen.
Mazel tov, mazel tov. And you guys have to come back at the end of the month.
Yes, I was
Okay.
gonna say something, it's a little too frequent.
You're gonna be here for board installation. That'll be closer. So remind me to do it then. And in our house, some people play Where's Waldo? We play Where's Ari? Right now, he arrived in Copenhagen, had a layover in Munich today, he actually left the airport and went and saw a friend. I'm always way too scared to leave the airport if I have a layover. He did that, but he arrived in Copenhagen and looked like he had a pretty view from his hotel room. So hopefully he's getting some sleep. I think they celebrated and partied for his graduation and all the departures of each person on a different night. Each one got a separate party. So it's been a fun hearing and following his adventures. I'm going to invite, as Tony King comes up to the Bima, our Vice President, to share some announcements. I want to personally invite anyone who's interested in working on their Hebrew, on learning a little bit more about Judaism, feeling more connected to the temple, to come and be part of our adult B'nai Mitzvah class. It's starting this Wednesday night. It'll meet like 3 Wednesday nights a month, sometimes 4. We'll go online come December, and it's really a wonderful experience. So come on over to the middle bima so they can see you on Zoom, and you get a microphone and everything.
Good Shabbos, everybody.
Good Shabbos, Tony.
You're the name Tony on the Bima. Anyway, Rabbi, thank you for your inspiring words. And of course, your beautiful voice and your very beautiful song. And it's nice to be up here the night of my mother's bedside. She would be very, very happy. Anyway, the announcements come at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We have Shabbat Torah study. And 7 o'clock, underneath the stars, underneath the tent, underneath the stars. Please join us for dueling pianos. It's going to be, I've seen these people, they're amazing. And it's a few seats available. So if you feel inspired, please come. On Tuesday, October the 5th, we have Jewish Tangents. On Wednesday, October the 6th, as Rabbi mentioned, we have the adult mitzvah class starting with Rabbi Moskowitz. So please contact Rabbi for more information. On October 15th, we do have our board installation. So come support your favorite board members and support them. On 6:30 on October the 22nd, we do have adult mitzvah Shabbat service.
And we will be moving on the 22nd to our new time of 6:30.
6:30, okay, I should touch.
22nd.
And on Friday, November the 12th, we have a Shabbat dinner. So save the date. It's going to be in person at TBT. TBT COVID protocols will be in place. Keep an eye out for more information that will be coming soon. I'll talk about the village. Temple Beth Torah and Dix Hills Jewish Center have been selected by UJA Federation of New York to develop a unique community for our active over 60 congregants. This community is called TBT DHJC Village. Find out more on our website under Engage. And also the TBT sharing table needs your donations and your time. Volunteers need to open and close the table. We need donations of breakfast cereal, toiletries, toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, and large storage bins. Please leave donations in the TBT vestibule. And but there's still time to make voluntary donations. You need to go to the website or an email. And that, I wish everyone a good Shabbos and and enjoy this beautiful last, might be the last summer weekend, but it's going to be beautiful out there. All right, good Shabbos.
Good job. Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
I have a beautiful new guitar that everybody knows. I'm just like, how many new guitars do I need? But it's like, it's the most valuable guitar that I have ever invested in. I got a really good deal on it. It was used. And I don't want to bring it in because I love it so much. Like I just kind of keep it in the case, nice and safe, and I look at it every now and then. So I sit here and play this out of tune guitar and torture all of you over me. Even though this is a very nice guitar, also it just needs some work. Sorry. Ooh.
Sounds fine to me. I don't hear any of that.
It's a little better. Olam chesed yibadeh, Olam chesed yibadeh, Olam chesed yibadeh. love. I will build this world from love. You must build this world from love. You must build this world from love. If we build this world from love, if we build this world from love, God will build this world from love. Then God will build this world from love. Please rise. Elohim Elohim, Moteinu Moteinu, our God and God of our mothers and fathers. Please keep us safe. Help us to feel your love and help us to find connection. And let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.